Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Dear viewers, we are live from Ahlussunnah Latifiyah Madrasa in New York. Alhamdulillah, we are gathered here with our students. All of our students here, many of us are hafaz, and we are now studying the Arabic grammar, inshallah. And as we are studying, inshallah, today we're going to go over the asnaful i'rab al-ism, and which is the types of i'rab on the ism. And inshallah, all these students will contribute and they will help me explain all of these 8. There's actually 9, but the 9th one is practically useless. Just know that for now. So on the first line it says over here, i'rabul ismi tis'atun asnaf. So the i'rab of ism, the state of isms, there are 9 types. Al-awwal, and I will do al-awwal inshallah. Al-awwal al-raf'u bil-dhamma. It is marfu' with dhamma, wal-nasbu bil-fatha, and it is mansub with fatha, wal-jarru bil-kasra, and it is majroor with kasra. For today, in all of these, we use dhamma, fatha, and kasra. Some of us, we use pesh, zubar, and zer, you know, because we're from Bangladesh. I'm not really sure if that's why, but that's how we grew up learning it. So just a heads up, dhamma is pesh, fatha is zabar, and kasra is zir. And marfu' is the category which has the 8 different types. I'm going to go over this really briefly. Mansub is the one with 12 different types, and majroor, very easy, simply with 2 types. And وَيَخْتَصُّ بِمَا يَلِي. So this applies. يُرْفَعُ بِالضَّمَّةِ وَيُنْصَبُ بِالْفَتْحَةِ وَالنَّصْبُ بِالْفَتْحَةِ وَالْجَرُّ بِالْكَسْرَةِ. This i'rab applies to what is going to follow, 1, 2, and 3 over here. So we're going to go in order obviously. Al-ismu al-mufrad al-munsarif as-sahih. The ism that is mufrad, singular, munsarif, which is not ghayr munsarif. Munsarif, the easiest way to recognize it is if it starts with alif and lam, or it has tanween in the end. There's a whole chart of ghayr munsarif. Every Arabic word is either munsarif or ghayr munsarif. One of our students will go over that inshallah, or I will, who knows. Or وَهُوَ مَا لَا يَكُونُ آخِرُهُ حَرْفَ عِلَّةٍ نَحُو زَيْدٌ أَسَدٌ. So this is explaining the end of the word of this, referring to in sahih. We went over munsarif. Sahih is the word that does not end with a sick letter. That's what's وَهُوَ مَا لَا يَكُونُ آخِرُهُ حَرْفَ عِلَّةٍ. It does not end with a sick letter. This is referring to the letters of waw and ya. So every other word that does not end with waw or ya, it's sahih. Okay. Nahu, example, Zaydun. Since Zayd is singular, it is also munsarif. It is not ghayr munsarif, and that's why there's also a tanween there. It must be munsarif, and it is sahih. It does not end. The word does not end with waw or ya. So Zaydun is one, and Asadun, same thing. The examples here are Ja'a Zaydun, Ra'aytu Zaydan, Marartu bi Zaydin. Over here, Ja'a Zaydun, Zayd came. Since Zayd is the fa'il, because Ja'a is the fa'il, Zayd is the fa'il because he is the one coming. So he is the fa'il, this marfu', and because it's marfu', we see here the i'rab is al-raf'u bil-dhamma. Since it is marfu', we put the pesh, the dhamma. Over here we put 2 dhammas because it is indefinite. Oh no, it does not have alif and lam, and it is munsarif. So then we have Ra'aytu Zaydan. Since Zayd was seen, I saw Zayd. Since Zayd was seen, he is receiving the action. He is maf'ulun bihi, which is mansub. And mansub, we look over here, وَالنَّصْبُ بِالْفَتْحَةِ, and so it would be Ra'aytu Zaydan. And that's why we're adding fatha, it is mansub. And marartu bi Zaydin. I passed by Zayd. Over here, before Zayd, there's a ba, which is one of the harf jar, making Zayd ism after harf jar, making it majroor, and that is why we are putting a z, because wal jarru bil kasra. I'm going to be using examples as well, other examples, to further clarify the i'rab of al-mufrad munsarif as-sahih. So I'm going to be referring to the Quran, Quranic verses, and the book we've been studying, our students have been studying, Ahsan al-Qasas, the story of Yusuf, which is mentioned in the Quran. We have a book which speaks about it in Darussunnah al-Thifiyah. So for Mufrad Munsarif Sahih, I'll be referring to Quranic verses. So for Marfu', one of from the Quran, Kana Allahu Alimun Hakim. Allah is, since there's the verse starts with Kana, and Allah follows it. Allah is Ism Kana, making it Marfu', and the alama wa alamatu raf'ihi ad-dammatu zahira, a clear pesh at the end, لأنه مفرد منصرف صحيح. Allah is مفرد منصرف صحيح, the word Allah. Okay, so for mansub, رأيت, over here they give رأيت زيدًا. For my example, I'm going to use إن الله عليم حكيم. So over here Allah follows inna, and ism inna is mansub, and since ism inna is mansub, Allah over here is going to have fatha, because one nasb bil fatha. And finally for majroor, I'm going to use another Quranic verse, salamun ala nuhin. Nuh is mufrad munsarif sahih, and it follows ala, which is one of the harf jar, and since it follows harf jar, must be majroor, and the alama wa alamat jarrihi al-kasratu zahira ala akhirih li'annahu mufrad munsarif sahih. So that is al-mufrad al-munsarif sahih. The next one, number 2, al-ism al-mufrad al-munsarif al-shabih bi-sahih. So we went over what mufrad is, singular, munsarif, not ghayr munsarif, and shabih bi-sahih, which is, we went over how sahih is any word that does not end with waw or ya, the 6 letters. So shabih bi-sahih is, it is allowed to end with waw or ya, however the letter preceding it is a sakin, and this will make it shabih bi-sahih. It is similar, it has that one requirement to make it shabih bi-sahih. وهو ما يكون آخره واو أو ياء وما قبلها ساكن. So that's what I just explained. You know, it ends with ya, the letter before is sakin. Nahu dalwun zabiyun. So over here we see dalwun, it ends with waw. The lam dal has sakin, dalwun, and same thing with zabiyun. The ba has sakin, and there it ends with ya. The examples has هذا دلو, رأيت دلوا, الماء في دلو. I'm gonna go over this quickly. هذا دلو is خبر. This is bucket. This is خبر, yes. And so خبر is مرفوع. هذا مبتدا دلو خبر. So this is مرفوع. And that's why it is pesh, because once again we're still using الرفع بالضمة والنصب بالفتحة والجر بالكسرة. Once again this applies to the first 3 that we're going to be speaking of. رأيت دلوا, so I saw a bucket, the bucket was seen, is receiving the action, it must be مفعول به, which is mansub with fatha. And finally الماء في دلو, في the water is in the bucket, في is harf jar, دلو is now going to be majroor, and the alama would be kasra at the end, because al-rafa bil-dhamma wa al-nasbu bil-fatha wa al-jar bil-kasra. And for these I'm going to refer to once again other examples to further clarify al-mufrad al-munsarif al-shabih bil-sahih. I'll be referring to the book Ahsan al-Qasas. This is here, and I'm going to be going to the chapter Yusuf fil Bi'r, which is in page 10. So on page من البئر إلى الأصر. So on page 11 of the book, it says on the 4th line, it says وأدلى دلوة, and the bucket was dropped. And since the bucket was dropped, it's receiving the action, and since it's receiving the action, it is going to be mansub. It is maf'ulun bihi. Oh, sorry, I was going to go over marfu' first. Apologize for that. So on the 5th line, it says وَنَزَعَ دلو فإذا الدلو ثقيلة. And this is going to be دلو is مبتدا, ثقيلة is khabar, and it is مبتدا because it's saying the bucket is heavy. The bucket is the subject. This makes it مرفوع. وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه مفرد منصرف الشبيه بصحيح. For mansub, it's going to be وأدلى دلوة. Since the bucket was dropped, it is مفعول به. It is receiving the action. وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة, a clear فتحة on the end لأنه مفرد منصرف الشبيه بصحيح. And finally, for مجرور, on the 6th line, وأخرجها فإذا في الدلو غلام. And this means that when he took it out, there was in the bucket a boy. And في الدلو means في الدلو, the fa في is حرف جر, making دلو مجرور وعلامة جره الكسرة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه المفرد المنصرف الشبيه بالصحيح. And so that's it for مفرد منصرف الشبيه بالصحيح. Move on to number 3. Remember once again, same إعراب of الأول. الجمع المكسر المنصرف. So جمع المكسر is a broken plural, and this applies to منصرف because in غير منصرف there is a category منتهى الجموع where there is الجمع المكسر, but it's not منصرف, it's غير منصرف, so you use the إعراب of غير منصرف. So over here الجمع المكسر, الجمع means plural, مكسر is broken. So جمع المكسر, it's when the plural form of a singular, the plural form, it changes its foundation. So in the case of rajul, when you make it rijal, you're adding an alif in the middle of the word, in the foundation. You're allowed to add letters to the end. That won't change it. That's just adding letters for a different signs to make it plural. But if you put it in the middle, that's breaking the foundation, and that's jam'ul mukassar. And from rajul to rijal, you threw alif in the middle of the word, and that breaks its foundation. So nahu, the examples, rijal right here, kutub from kitab, kutub, they erased the alif, and a'lam from alam, they added an alif. So these are all changing the foundation. This makes it jam'ul mukassar al-munsarif. qama rijalu al-kitabu qimatun qara'tu kutuban qimatan fil kitabi ulumun. So qama rijalu is so these are the examples given over here. I'm going to be using examples from the Quran and Ahsan al-Asas. So first we're going to do marfu', and I'm going to be using the book on the very first page, actually page number 2 on the first chapter. It says كيف تسجد الكواكب والشمس والقمر لرجل. This is referring to when Yusuf had that dream where all the stars and the Shams and Qamar, they prostrated to him in a dream. So he was wondering, كيف تسجد الكواكب? So how could the stars prostrate? So since the fa'il is tasjud and kawakibu would be the fa'il because they're the one prostrating, this would make it marfu'. And وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه الجمع المكسر, because the singular is كوكبا, and kawakib, it adds an alif in the middle, and it erases an alif at the end.
This جمع المكسر but not منصرف. كواكب غير منصرف, منتهى الجموع.
Oh, so this is منتهى الجموع. Okay, so for mansub, I'm going to be referring to Quranic verses. In the Quran, in Surah Baqarah, there's a verse وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاء, and over here the Jam'ul Mukassar is for dima. It means that and blood was shed, and bloodshed, and the وَيَسْفِكُ is fi'il and fa'il, the kaf fa'il, and dima is maf'ulun bihi, and since the blood was shed. and this would make it منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه الجمع المكسر. and ويسفك الدماء
يسفك فعل ضمير مستتر هو يسفك فعل سفك يسفك.
Oh, okay. So actually ويسفك is the فعل. The فعل is مستتر هو ضمير. It's hidden, it's not here, it's هو. And دماء is the مفعول به, it is mansub, and that's why there's fatha at the end. It is derived from them, which is the singular version, and that's how you could see it is Jamal Mukassar. And for Majroor, there is ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم. Those are all Jamal Mukassar. So for وعلى أبصارهم, على is حرف الجر, أبصار comes from basar, and since it's changing you could see it's Jamal Mukassar. It's the plural, it follows على, it's مجرور وعلامة جره الكسرة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه الجمع المكسر. So that's all for أول. For الثاني, it's the إعراب is الرفع بالضمة والنصب والجر بالكسرة. This means it is مرفوع with pesh, والنصب it's منصوب, and مجرور with زر or كسرة. ويختص بالجمع المؤنث السالم, and this is the إعراب for, this applies to جمع المؤنث السالم. The examples they give here: جاءتني مسلمات, رأيت مسلمات, مررت بمسلمات. So I'm not going to go over the examples. I'm just going to go over what Jamal Mu'annath Salim is. So we went over what Jamal Mukassar is, how it applies to broken plurals. So since there is a broken plural and there's an i'rab for it, there's also one for plurals that aren't broken on the foundation, where just letters are added to the end. And this is Jamal Mu'annath Salim, where the plural is not broken and it's a feminine plural. And I'd like to call upon Na'imuddin, Hafiz Na'imuddin, to give us examples from the Quran or the book Ahsan al-Asas for Athani, Jamal Mu'annath Salim.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So I have 3 examples. The first one is المؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض. والمؤمنات is مبتدا, so it would be مرفوع, believe. And my second example is إن المسلمين والمسلمات مسلمات. والمسلمات is اسم إن, so it would be mansub.
No, what would be the sign? What would be the sign since it's mansub?
Tanween.
It would be, you would see over here, it's والنصب والجر بالكسرة. So if it's mansub, it's with kasra, right? Yes.
Yeah.
And your final example?
And my last example is رب اغفر لي ولوالدي ولمن دخل بيتي مؤمنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات ولا تزد الظالمين إلا تبارا. So والمؤمنات is مجرور because والمؤمنين is لم حرف جر.
So it's majrur. What's the sign?
It's كسرة.
Kasra, yeah, because وَيَنْصَبُ وَالْجَرُّ بِالْكَسْرَةِ. And you know the first one, الْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتُ, he went over, it's mubtada, it's marfu', and the alama would be dhamma, since it's al-rafi' bil-dhamma. Thank you, brother Hafiz Na'imuddin. We're going to move on to al-thalith, which is الرفع بالضمة, مرفوع بالضمة, والنصب والجر بالفتحة. It's mansub and مجرور with فتحة. ويختص بالممنوع من الصرف. And this applies to this إعراب الرفع بالضمة والنصب والجر بالفتحة. It applies to ممنوع من الصرف. And غير منصرف. So I'll quickly go over what ممنوع من الصرف is. Over here we have a whole chart of ممنوع من الصرف. So every Arabic word is either غير منصرف or منصرف, or ممنوع من الصرف or منصرف, right? So over here we have a whole chart, and it only applies, it's split into three sections: al-alam, as-sifat, and muntaha al-jumu'ah. So al-alam is it's proper noun, all right? So if you have a word and it's a noun but it's not proper, then and it's not a sifat, then it's definitely not mamnu' min as-sarf. So first you have alam, proper nouns, names, so on and so forth. So if alam is with ajami, that's the first one, alam and ajami. Ajami means non-Arabic, so there are Arabic words and non-Arabic words, right? If an alam is non-Arabic, like Ibrahim, then it is going to be mamnu' min as-sarf. If a alam is ta'neeth, ta'neeth is feminine, so any name that is a feminine name, it's also mamnu' min as-sarf. Over here they give Fatima and Zainab. They are both feminine names, and therefore they are mamnu' min as-sarf. Alam plus ala wazni af'alu. That sounds like af'alu. To be sure, you take the vowel signs of af'alu, and if it applies to the alam, then it must be mamnu' min as-sarf. In this case, the example they give is Ahmadu. And you see Ahmadu, Af'alu, they have the same sound. The vowel signs match with each other, so it's mamnu' min as-sarf. Alam, ala wazni fu'alu. Before we did Af'alu, this one is fu'alu. And the example, same thing, it sounds like fu'alu. The example is Umaru. Alam plus alif wa nun za'idatan, a name that ends with alif and nun. The example over here is Uthman. It ends with alif and nun. Alam plus tarkib. So this is when an Arabic word is actually a name. It's actually two names, two Arabic words that's put together to make one word, and in this case it has to be a name. There are 2 or 3 examples in the Arabic language so far known. Hadramaut, Ba'alabak, and Ma'adi Karab is the third one. Over here they give those 2. And that's all for alam, or the a'lam. And for the sifat, there are only 2 of them. So there are 6 over here for a'lam, and there are 2 for sifat. They're exclusive. You know, you can't have one or the other. So for the sifa, if you have ala wazni af'alu, if it sounds like af'alu, then it is going to be mamnu' min as-sarf. This is most of the colors, or if not all of them. Ahmaru, abyadu, akhdaru, they all have the they're all ala wazni af'alu, so they're mamnu' min as-sarf. Sifa plus alif wa nun za'idatan, over here they give ghadban, it ends with alif and nun, so it is mamnu' min as-sarf. Finally, muntaha al-jumu'ah, it is jama', is when there's a plural, that if it has either an alif with sakin followed by 2 letters, or alif with sakin followed by 3 letters and the second letter is sakin, or alif followed by 1 letter that has tashdid, and that's muntaha al-jumu'ah. Alif al-jama', yeah, alif al-jama' followed by a letter that has tashdid. So that's muntaha al-jumu'ah, and that's all for mamnu' min as-sarf. It's a big chart. Over here it's organized so we don't get as confused. So I'll call upon Brother Ya'qub to go over some examples from the Quran or Ahsan al-Qasas.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, thank you, Brother Hassan, for the introduction and the background information on what mamnu' min as-sarf is. And if we look at the book, we have a few examples. I will explain these examples, and I will also use examples from the Quran. Now over here you have the first one says you have غير منصرف, and explain about غير منصرف as in Ahmad, Ahmadu. You can see that if you look back at the chart, you will see that it falls under ala wazni af'alu. So you have ala wazni af'alu, and the example it gives you is Ahmadu. Now so if you were to use that in a sentence, now you have ja'ani Ahmadu, Ahmad came to me. And now since you know that Ahmad is غير منصرف, mamnu' min as-sarf, and you have ja'ani Ahmadu, Ahmad came to me. So Ahmad is fa'il, he is the one coming to you, he is doing the action. so it is مرفوع. المرفوع وعلامة رفعه هي الضمة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه غير ممنوع من الصرف. Your next example is رأيت أحمد. I saw Ahmed. And this one is I saw Ahmed. So Ahmed is the one being seen. He is مفعول به, and مفعول به is منصوب. And over here the إعراب is والنصب بالفتحة. So if it is منصوب, you put a fatha, which is why it's رأيت أحمد and not رأيت أحمد or أحمدي. So it is منصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه غير منصرف. And you have the third example, مررت بأحمد. I passed by Ahmed. And before the word Ahmed, you have B. B is حرف جر, one of the words of حرف جر. So if you have a letter after حرف جر, it is مجرور. And if you look at the إعراب, it is والجر بالفتحة. So since it is مجرور, it has a fatha at the end, which is why it is مررت بأحمد. It is المجرور وعلامة جره الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه غير منصرف. Now if we those are the examples in the book, but we also have examples found in the Quran. For example, you have one for, we can do majroor first. You have إذ قال يوسف. إذ قال يوسف. Yusuf is the one saying. قال, he said. Yusuf is the one saying. He is the fa'il. So it is مرفوع وعلامة رفعه الضمة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه ممنوع من الصرف. Now you have the next one is in منصوب. إن إبراهيم كان أمة قانتا لله حنيفا. إن إبراهيم. This is اسم إن, which is منصوب. المنصوب وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه ممنوع من الصرف. And then you have the third one, which is قال هل علمتم ما فعلتم بيوسف. You have بيوسف. B is حرف جر, and you have يوسف, which is after the حرف جر, making it مجرور. المجرور وعلامة جره الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه الممنوع من الصرف. And that is how, that is the third one. That is أن يكون الرفع بالضمة والنصب والجر بالفتحة, and it is exclusive to غير منصرف.
So thank you, Brother Ya'qub, for the examples on ممنوع من الصرف. We're going to go to الرابع. الرابع is الرفع بالواو والنصب بالألف والجر بالياء. It is مرفوع with واو, منصوب with ألف, and مجرور with ياء. ويختص بالأسماء ستة مكبرة مفردة مضافة إلى غير ياء المتكلم. So this is مرفوع with ياء, منصوب with ألف. Oh, yeah, مرفوع with واو, منصوب with ألف, مجرور with ياء. And this is applies to the أسماء ستة, the 6 nouns, مكبرة, that are in their big form, in their normal form, not مصغرة. مفردة, they are singular. مضافة إلى غير ياء المتكلم, and they have to be مضاف, but not to ياء المتكلم. ياء المتكلم is referring to the ياء of first person. So whenever we say كتابي, that's not one of the 6 nouns obviously, but the ياء over there is ياء متكلم. It's saying that is my book. So the 6 nouns over here, we're going to go over the 6 nouns is أبوك, أبوك, أخوك, أبوك, حموك, هنوك, فوك, ذو مال. Inshallah, I'd like to call upon Hafiz Tasneem Jakir Rahman to go over examples of أسماء ستة.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So as Brother Hassan said, I will be going over examples of Asma' Sitta. So first I'd like to start off with the examples from the book. So Ja'ani akhuka, your brother came to me. Ja'a would be an action, fi'l, followed by akhuka, who's committing the action. The brother is committing the action, so this would be fa'il. Fa'il fall under marfu', وعلامة رفعه الواو لأنه الأسماء الستة. Next example, رأيت أخاك. I forgot to mention, because of this, there would be a wow at the end. Okay. Next example, رأيت أخاك. Your brother came to me.
No, so, I saw your brother.
Yeah, I saw your brother. My apologies. So for this, the brother is an action is being committed towards the brother. So there would be a alif at the end. المنصوب على, for this reason it would be منصوب. Okay. المنصوب علامة نصبه الألف لأنه أسماء ستة. And for the last example from the book, مررت بأخيك, I passed by your brother. Before أخيك comes the letter ba. It would be this letter is حرف الجر. So أخيك would be مجرور. For that reason it would end with ya. So المجرور وعلامة جره الياء لأنه أسماء ستة.
Yeah, and the second one as well. The second one is, the name for it would be مفعول به. Alright, carry on.
My apologies. Also, I have examples from the Quran, from Surah Kahf. وأما الجدار فكان لغلامين يتيمين في المدينة وكان تحته كنز لهما وكان أبوهما صالحا. وكان أبوهما. You see, it ends with so this would be ism kana. And for that reason it would end with a waw and would be marfu'. Okay, so al-marfu' علامة رفعه الواو لأنه أسماء ستة. And for the next example from Surah Yusuf, إذ قالوا ليوسف وأخوه أحب إلى أبينا منا ونحن عصبة إن أبانا لفي ضلال مبين. So إن أبانا. So this is ism inna. And for that reason it would end with alif. So inna abana. So for this reason it would be mansub. وعلامة نصبه الألف لأنه أسماء ستة. And for the last example, قال هل آمنكم عليه إلا كما أمنتكم على أخيه. على أخيه. أخيه is before it comes حرف الجر. And whenever something comes after حرف الجر, it will automatically be majrur. So for that reason it would end with ya. So المجرور وعلامة جره الياء لأنه أسماء ستة. And that's all.
Alright, so thank you for those examples and the explanation as well. We're going to move on to الخامس. الخامس الرفع بالألف والنصب والجر بالياء المفتوح ما قبلها. This is مرفوع with alif, and منصوب and majrur with a ya at the end with fatha before it. ويختص بالمثنى وكلا وكلتا. So this applies to مثنى, this applies to dual, وكلا وكلتا إذا كان مضافين إلى ضمير, and also to kila and kilta when they are mudaf to pronoun, when they are mudaf to dhamir pronoun, and also wathnan and wathnatan. I'd like to call upon Brother Yunus Khan to go over the examples and give his own examples, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So the examples that were given in the book, the first one is Ja'ani rajulani kilahuma. So that's it. That means that two men came to me, both of them. The kilahuma is used basically for emphasis by saying both of them. And rajulani, the alif is there because it's marfu', and we know that alif has to be the letter since it's marfu' in this case, the fifth case, and it's a noon because it's a dual. This whole fifth case is regarding duals. And
can you go over why it's marfu'? Like, how do you know it's marfu'? What makes it marfu'?
Well, because of the, I'm not sure actually.
So
I think it's because of the leaf.
So the alif is what you do when it is marfu', but you have to know if it's marfu' first, and it's marfu' because it is a fa'il, right? Ja'a is the fa'il, and since the men are coming, both of them, since they are the ones coming, they're fa'il, that makes it marfu', and that's why you add the alif. But yeah, brother Yunus here, he worked backwards. Alright.
For the second example, رأيت رجلين كليهما. So it means I saw two men, both of them. Once again, كليهما is emphasis for both of them. And الرجلين, the ya is because it's mansub, I believe. So it's ya after fatha. And رأيت is the verb, the fi'l. So رجلين would be the fa'il, like in the other example.
No. So
no.
So ra'aytu is I saw, right? So ra'aytu that's the fa'il, and the fa'il is hidden. It's mustatir. Ana. It's ana because I saw. It's saying I saw, and ar-rajulaini. It's the receiving the action, so it's maf'ulun bihi, and that would make it mansub. And that's why, as he's saying is correct, that's why there's the ya and the fatha before it.
And moving on to the last example that was given in the book, مررت برجلين
Zurecho.
مررت برجلين كليهما. I passed by two men, both of them. So it's using ya after zabor once again. Because but this time it's not mansub, it's majroor. And marartu is the what do you call it, the verb,
the fi'l, yeah.
Fi'l.
The ba is harf jar.
Oh yeah, the ba is harf jar, which makes the noun after it become majroor.
And yeah, that's why there's the ya before the fatha. And they add over here kilahuma, kilayhima, as he said, for emphasis, to say both of them, but also to show us that we give it the i'rab the same way we give the i'rab to the words. So it would be also الرفع بالالف والنصب والجر بالياء المفتوح ما قبلها. We change the kilahuma, kilayhima same way. But also this only applies when it's mudaf to huma, or mudaf to something, huma, kuma, or
any domain.
Nah, yeah. So can you give your examples as well?
Okay, yeah. So for marfu' I'm using an example from Ahsan al-Qasas. So وَدَخَلَ مَعَهُ السِّجْنَ رَجُلَانِ. So
yeah.
Yeah, so rajulani is fa'il, so that's why it's marfu' because the men are doing the verb, which is entering.
Yes.
So that's the marfu' example. For mansub, I'm using from the Quran, Surah Mulk. ثُمَّ ارْجِعِ الْبَصَرَ كَرَّتَيْنِ. So كَرَّتَيْنِ is tamyiz, which is why it's mansub. And كَرَّتَيْنِ means twice. So tamyiz basically tells you like kind of the number, or
yeah, it clarifies ambiguity. So before we didn't know the number, and now we know the number of what.
Yeah, so basically we figured out that it means twice. And for majroor, Surah Rahman, رَبُّ الْمَشْرِقَيْنِ وَرَبُّ الْمَغْرِبَيْنِ. So al-mashriqaini is mudafun ilayhi. So because it means the Lord of the two east, Rabbul Mashriqaini.
Yes.
So once again we see it's a dual, but because of the ya after the zubar, but this time it's majroor. And
since it's majroor, there's the ya at the end, following the fatha, right?
Yeah, following the fatha.
Alright, so thank you, brother Yunus Khan. He gave alhamdulillah great insight. He also went over tamyiz, one that was not previously gone over by the rest of us. So next we're going to go over as-sadis, and this is al-raf'u bil-waw. It's marfu' with waw, wal-nasbu wal-jarru bil-ya il-maksuri ma qablaha, and it's mansub and majroor with ya, with the kasra, with the zir before it. ويختص بالجمع المذكر السالم والملحق به, and this applies to the jama' al-mudhakkar salim, the safe plural of the masculine, for males, and والملحق به, and the following أولو عشرون وأخواتها. So yeah, I'd like to call upon Brother Tanveer Khan to go over his examples, and these examples as well if you can.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So the examples given in the book are Ja'ani Muslimuna, and this translates to Muslim men came to me. And we see that the word Muslimuna has a waw added to it, and it's preceded by a dhamma, pesh. Right?
Yeah.
And that's because it's marfu, and that's because it's fa'il.
So in marfu' it doesn't have to have the pesh before it, but all we need is the waw.
Yeah.
All we need is the waw. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fa'il because they're the verbal subject. They're the ones that came. And similarly, another example, Ja'ani Ishruna Rajulan. So Ishruna, again, it has the waw with the preceding by the pesh, also, and they are fa'il.
Got you, bro. I got you.
And the third example, Ja'ani ulu malin, right? Okay, so ulu, we see that there's a waw added and there's a pesh. These are all marfu. And the mansub examples, Ra'aytu muslimina, we see that there is a ya added and it's preceded by kasra, az-zir, because it's mansub. And it's mansub because it's maf'ul bihi, right?
Yes.
And that's because they are the ones that were seen, that the verb is directed towards. And similarly, we have Ra'aytu Ishraini Rajulan and
Ishrina
Rajulan. And we see that a ya was added and it's a zir preceding it. For the same reason, it's mansub, and it's maf'ul bihi.
Yeah.
And the third example, same thing, Ra'aytu uli malin, and we see that ya is added and we have zir preceding it for the same reason, because it's mansub, maf'ul bihi. And for the last few examples, we have some majroor examples. It says bimuslimina marartu, and it's majroor because we have the bi, and that's harf jar. And so we change the word muslima to muslimina. We add the ya and the zir. And similarly, marartu bi ishrina rajulan. We use the word ishrina because we're adding the ya and the zir because it's majroor, because we have the bi ishrina, and that's harf jar. And the last example, marartu bi uli malan, right?
Yeah.
And that's also majroor, and that's because we have the bi uli, and that's harf jar. That's one of the two conditions of ism being majroor. And some examples from the Quran, we have from Surah Tawbah, verse 71. It begins wal mu'minuna, and the reason why it's like this is because it's marfu. So we have the pesh followed by the waw in mu'minun. Is that the original word? Mu'minun?
Why is it marfu?
It's marfu because it's mubtada, and mubtada in English terms is the nominal subject. So the sentence is about the mu'minun.
Alright.
And so they put the waw and then the pesh preceding it. And another example from the Quran, from Surah Al-Ahzab,
Yes.
Verse 35, Innal Muslimina, and that is mansub because it is ism inna. That's one of the 12 reasons ism can be mansub. And basically that means it's preceded by inna, so it's mansub. and so then we put the ya and we precede it with the zer. And the last example from the Quran, from Surah Al-Ahzab, verse 43, it says وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ, and because we have the B, that's harf jar, and so we say mu'minina with a zer and then a ya, and yeah, that's it.
So, alhamdulillah, Brother Tanvir Khan, he went over very well. He went over the examples for Jama'ul Mudhakkir Salim, I believe, and Nurshroon and Ulu. The same I'Rab for all of them, of course. We're going to move on to As-Sabi'. And As-Sabi', it reads Al-Raf'u bil-Dhamma, Dhammat Muqaddara, Marfu' with a hidden Dhamma, والنصب بالفتحة المقدرة منصوب with a hidden فتحة, and والجر بالكسرة المقدرة, and مجرور with a hidden زر كسرة. ويختص بالاسم المأصور وبالمضاف إلى ياء المتكلم. So this is applies to اسم المقصور. اسم المقصور, this is isms that end with alif maqsura, which is like a hidden alif. For example, the one they give here is Musa. Musa, we say Musa because it has a hidden alif at the end, Musa. Even though it has, we see the yeah, we don't see the alif. And that's an example of ism maqsura. And it also says wabil mudafi ila ya al-mutakallim, and also to words that are mudaf to ya al-mutakallim. So if it's mudaf to ya al-mutakallim, we went over before how the asma sitta, it only applies if those 6 nouns are not mudaf to ya al-mutakallim, if it's mudaf to anyone else, because if it was mudaf to ya al-mutakallim, we are to use the إعراب الرفع بالضمة المقدرة, النصب بالفتحة المقدرة, الجر بالكسر المقدرة. So I'd like to call upon Shihab Chaudhry, Hafiz Shihab Chaudhry, to go over the examples, and he to also go over Quranic or examples from Ahsan al-Asas.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'll be explaining these examples from the Quran. So one of them is from Surah An'am. It starts as قال عيسى ابن مريم اللهم, and that is مرفوع because it is fa'il.
Yes.
Surah Ma'idah, sorry, my bad. It is marfu' because it is fa'il, verbal subject.
Yeah.
And
it's the one doing the action.
Yeah, it's the one doing the action. And the next one, Zakariya wa Yahya wa Isa wa Ilyas. This is mansub because
كلا هدينا.
So ووهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب كلا هدينا ونوحا هدينا من قبل ومن ذريته داود وسليمان وأيوب ويوسف وموسى
وهارون. Okay, yeah.
So that is mansub because of maf'ulun bihi.
Yes.
And the last one, إن مثل عيسى. I'm afraid I cannot explain how this is literally.
إن مثل عيسى.
The example of Isa.
So indeed the example of Isa, إن مثل عيسى, since it's the example of Isa, Isa is mudafun ilayh, and mudafun ilayh is one of the two for majroor, وعلامة جره الكسرة المقدرة. So for these, you don't really change the word. The only change is there is dhamma, fatha, and kasra at the end, but you don't pronounce them. It's hidden. So you didn't really change anything. You just continue saying the word as is. Thank you, Brother Shihab Chaudhry, for your examples, for your explanation of the examples. For the second one, I'd just like to clarify a bit more. كُلًّا هَدَيْنَا وَنُوحًا هَدَيْنَا. This is talking about how he guided Musa, Isa, and all the prophets, and he guided Zakaria. Musa and Zakaria, I believe the both of them are ism maqsur because they have they end with ya al-maqsura, and Allah alif maqsura, sorry, and since Allah is guiding them, they're receiving the action, and that's why they're maf'ulun bihi. So finally, we're going to move on to athamin, and I'll go over this inshallah. Al-raf'u bil-dhamma, the dhamma al-mu'addara, it's marfu' with a hidden dhamma. We went over what the hidden dhamma means. Wal-nasbu bil-fathati zahira, and it's mansub with a clear fatha, a fatha that you could hear. And wal-jarru bil-kasrati al-mu'addara, and it is majroor with a kasra, a hidden kasra, that's unpronounced. وَيَخْتَصُ بِالْإِسْمِ الْمَنْقُوسِ, and this applies for the ism al-manqus. Ism al-manqus is isms that end with ya, and the preceding letter is zayd. So the examples they give here: ja al-qadi, the judge came, and it is since the judge is coming, he is the fa'il. Ja is fa'il, qadi is fa'il. Al-qadi is the judge is the fa'il, and since he is fa'il, he is marfu'. Wa alamat raf'ihi al-dhamma al-muqaddara, so you don't change anything. You can't say qadiyu because it would be difficult to pronounce. So we simplify it, and it is hidden. Ra'aytu al-qadiya, and we see a change here, qadiya from qadi. It changes because it is mansub bil-fathati zahira. It's mansub because it is ra'aytu al-qadiya. Since the judge was seen, he is maf'ulun bihi, mansub wa alamat jarrihi al-fathatu zahira at the end. So it's a fatha that you can hear. Finally, for these examples, it's maratu bil qadi, and once again, there's no change from the original word because it is majroor due to the ba, which is harf jar, and al-qadi follows it. So it will have majroor wa alamat jarrihi al-kasratul muqaddara لأنه الاسم المنقوص. So those are the examples from the slideshow here. I'd like to present examples from the book of Ahsan al-Asas, 2 examples from here and 1 more elsewhere. So on page 19 from the chapter تأويل الرؤيا, فكان الأول ساقيا, and this is when Yusuf is interpreting the dreams of 2 men in the prison, and he told him that the first one will be a wine bearer, and saqiya is this is actually mansub. I'm supposed to do marfu' first. I made this earlier. So for marfu' it's wanasiya saqi, and the wine bearer forgot. So since the wine bearer forgot, he is the fa'il. Nasiya is fa'il, saqiya fa'il, and since he forgot, he is the fa'il. Marfu' wa alamatu raf'ihi al-dhammat al-muqaddara. It's still saqi, that's the original word. We don't change anything. And it is once again ismul maqsur manqus, sorry, because it's saqi. That's ismul manqus. And for mansub, the example I mentioned this earlier, فَكَانَ الْأَوَّلُ سَاقِيًا, and the first one, he's going to be a wine bearer. And since this one is khabar inna, khabar kana, sorry, since it's khabar kana, it is mansub وعلامة نصبه الفتحة الظاهرة على آخره لأنه اسم المنقوص. And finally, for majroor, اعتبرت بالماضي, and this means I lived my past life. I learned from my past. And since ba, it's bil maldi. Maldi is ism manqus. Bil, the ba is harf jar, making al maldi majroor wa alamatu jarrihi al kasratu muqaddara على آخره لأنه اسم منقوص. And that's the 8th one, and those are the ones we're going to go over today. We have went over today, sorry. And that'll be it for all of us. I thank the students of Ahlussunnah in New York for helping us in our discussion. I'm going to go over, I'm going to show you guys very simply the marfu'at, mansubat, and majrurat. Over here we have the 8 types of marfu'at. We went over فاعل, فاعل, مبتدا, خبر, اسم كان, خبر إن. Those ones we went over today. The other ones are here. Mansub, we went over a few of these. Maf'ul bihi and khabar inna, tamyiz, khabar kana and ism inna. And here's all of the mansubat over here. And finally the majrurat. That's the third one. The two kinds, we went over both of them. The ism that follows harf jar, and also mudafun ilayh, association to something, what is associated with. And alhamdulillah, the students here, they have researched these to a great extent, alhamdulillah, and they've contributed me in our discussion today. Inshallah, this will be helpful to many of you who are studying this. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.